What's going on, everyone? You're back with your boy Jono for another quick math lesson. Today we're going to look at either the best time of the year or one of the most hated. We're talking about what we get back from our tax. We might have a refund where the government gives us extra money, or we might owe extra tax that we have to give back to the government. So at the end of each financial year, you're going to submit a tax return, and this is your gross income minus your deductibles and your donations. So it's going to calculate your taxable income. And this is obviously what you pay tax on. However, the government doesn't trust us to save up enough money to pay off a lump sum. So what we do is we pay a little bit of tax every single week to the government. So at the end of it, we're not going to have this massive debt. This is also really good for the government because they'll have that money. They're not going to be chasing up massive amounts of debt, but it will also work for you. It's not going to sting you with this huge lump sum sometime in August. But the reason there's a little bit of confusion between, do I owe tax? Am I getting a refund? Is because the tax that you're paying is off your gross income, not your taxable income. So you might be able to deduct or donate some money in order to make sure that you get a refund, which is just the best thing ever. You just kind of forget about that money and the government sends you back like $1,000. Pretty good deal. So like we said, each week it doesn't include anything that you have to spend exactly for work, so any work expenses, but it also doesn't include any variable work. When I was at uni, I used to not work during the semester and then do as much work as I possibly could in the summer holidays. The thing was though, during those summer holidays, they were taking out tax like I was earning that for the entire year. So they thought my gross income or my annual salary was way harder than the crappy amounts of money that I was making. This means I got more taken out each week than I actually had to pay. So this type of tax collection is called pay-as-you-go tax, or PAYG, and you actually might see this on your paycheck from your boss. This is a really good estimate of how much tax you should pay for the year, but there is always a little bit of wiggle room. You might get a refund or you might owe some money at the end of the year, but you're probably going to be pretty close. So the questions that you will get in maths is you'll be given a salary and told how much tax has been paid. And then you're going to have to work out from there, does this person get a refund or do they owe extra tax? So for this question here, my salary is $49,000 and I've been taxed $6,000 throughout the year. But I have also deducted $2,000 that I can take from my taxable income. So what I want to know is, do I get a refund or do I owe tax at the end of the year? The first thing that we always have to do for these questions is you must find the taxable income, not the gross income. So the taxable income for this question is the $49,000 minus the $2,000, which is equal to $47,000. Make sure you're not using that gross number for the tax table because you're going to pay too much tax, which obviously sucks. So now I know that my tax is $47,000. All I've got to do is go down to the correct tax bracket, which is here, and then just read across. If you're not 100% sure on how to use these tax tables, please see my last video because I go through a method that makes it impossible to get these wrong. All I do is read across 5,092 plus 0.327, and then I've got to put in brackets my taxable income, which is $47,000 minus $45,000. All you've got to do is put that into your calculator and you will get the correct answer. For this, the amount of tax I should have paid for the entire year is $5,742. But I know that I paid $6,000 in pay-as-you-go tax, so I'm going to get a refund. All I've got to do is find the difference between these two numbers using subtraction. So $6,000 minus $5,742, throw that into your calculator and you get $258 of tax refund. So that's extra money that's going to come into your bank account in like August or September. Pretty good day. These questions are good because you get 3 marks for them just for using the tax table correctly. You get 1 mark for finding the taxable income, the $47,000, 1 for finding how much tax you should pay, and then finally for finding the refund or the amount owing. So 3 pretty easy marks for just 1 skill. Unfortunately, pay-as-you-go tax can mean that you owe money at the end of the year instead of getting a refund. When I was at uni, I used to always get refunds. It was always the best time of the year, but now I've started working full time. I've actually had a couple of tax owings, which is way less fun. One thing that you should be aware of when you get into the workforce is if you've got multiple jobs, the tax that you pay might be way less than your gross annual salary. So you might have to owe quite a bit of money at the end of the year. So for this question, we got $95,000 with $2,000 worth of deductions, and we pay $350 in tax every single week. Do we get a refund or are we owing the government some money in August? Again, the first thing we always have to do is find the taxable income. 95,000 minus that 2,000 means my taxable income is $93,000. You get a mark for this. It's obviously very easy maths, but you do have to make sure you're not using that gross. You've got to use that taxable income. For this one, because it doesn't tell us exactly how much tax we've paid, we've got to calculate that as well. Because we're paying $350 for 52 weeks, we just have to do 350 multiplied by 52, which is equal to $18,200. That's the tax we've paid for this year. So I've got $93,000 in taxable income and I've paid $18,200. Again, I've just got to find the suitable tax bracket and then read across. So for this, I've got $5,092 plus 0.325 bracket $93,000 minus $45,000. Again, just throw it into your calculator, you'll get the right answer. This one here is equal to $2,692, which is more tax than we've actually paid. So for this, we still owe the government money. Again, we've got to find the difference between these two amounts. So I'm going to take the bigger amount, the $2,692, minus from $18,200. This is equal to $2,492, and that's your tax owing at the end of the year. When you do get this, people do try to add extra work expenses, try to add deductions in order to bring this tax owing down. And that's definitely something you should try to do. Maybe see an accountant, it would definitely be worth it. But reducing this tax bill is obviously the goal if you're trying to maximize the amount of money that you have. Thanks so much for watching this lesson, guys, and I'll see you later.